What it do, YouTube? Now they got three stocks, three mega cap tech stocks that I want to own in 2025. So I ask that you add these to your watch list if you already don't have them on there. And just keep an eye on them at key levels I'm going to mention throughout this video. And they got one penny stock that I plan on accumulating throughout 2025. Buying on red days, buying on dips. If it consolidates, loading up in that range. If it be profits that I use and I just park it into this penny stock or whatnot. That's my plan for 2025. But let's go ahead and jump right into three mega cap tech stocks that I think you would like to own in 2025. First off is none other, as you can see on the screen, is NVDA, which closed at $134.29 on December 31st, down 2.33%, roughly $3. Now, we're going to just jump right into why I'm looking at NVIDIA to own for 2025. Now, we already know that NVIDIA is considered like the forefront or the godfather, so to say, of artificial intelligence because they dominate the chip space. They got, I guess you could say, one of the most proficient semiconductor chips out there compared to its peers. And a lot of the other mega cap tech stocks are all going to them. At least they were at one point for NVIDIA's chip to power, I guess you can say, these mega cap companies' AI plans. I don't know why I had a brain fart. It's AI trajectory, I guess you can say. As you can see here, though, analysts rates NVIDIA as a strong buy. We know analysts could be wrong. They have been wrong time and time again. However, the reason why I'm liking them is because their PE ratio, I mean, it's pretty high, but that's because a lot of it's already priced in on where they're going to be in 2025, 2026, basically between now and 2030. They're looking to really bring in the loot. Let's just say that and be a cash cow. So we go at NVIDIA. My key levels that I would like to get NVIDIA at, to be honest, I can remember off the top of my head, is like 116 to 123. Now, reason I say that is because if we go and look at NVIDIA on the, let's just go on a 4-hour time frame. As you can see here, I have already drawn, but this is old, which I could now draw this into. As you see, it was a very thick dark green line at 140. I'm going to just turn that red because that is now currently resistance. 140, it needs to break 142, to be honest, and maybe test 140, but definitely needs to get over 142 and test 141, 140 to see if it's going to go higher back towards that 152 range. But 130, if anybody also recall, is that high from the summer of 2024. 116 to 123 was that range that it couldn't really get over when NVIDIA pulled all the way down to that 90 and ran back up. And if we reverse the stock split, 116 to 123 is basically $1,230 or below. Is where I want to get it at, because it was basically a $1,200, $1,300 stock before they did the 10-for-1 stock split. So my levels that I would like NVIDIA at, again, is 116, which I'm going to go ahead and draw that there, but that's going to go green. This may become a dotted line, to be honest, at 130, because it already fell below 136. 136, really 137 was where it should held at, but 136 is showing me bearish, at least down to, like I said, 127, 128. Let's see what this here is. That's 128. And then this one here, 127A. We'll keep that dotted, but we'll make it a little bigger. Actually, no, we'll make it a dash. Yeah. And then that 123 level was for me. That's 121. 121 was actually a level. I remember that level now also as well. That's my ultimate entry, really. 127 is where I want. If we go below 121, I would play it to 116, but I'm not going to hold you. I may end up jumping out. So therefore, you know what? Yeah. 120 is my buy level, personally. I'll be patient. Now, if we stay above 127 or above 130 and get back over 137 and retest it, then I'll consider actually raising my entry price higher. But as we can see here, if we go look at the financials for NVIDIA, earnings is expected, as you can see here, Q3 24, they reported 81 cents, and estimate was 75 cents. But as you see, each year it goes up. Each quarter goes up. 84 cents expected next quarter, 91 the following there, 102 or $1.02, and $1.15. So as you see, its trajectory is to continue to grow. So that's why NVIDIA is on my watch and stocks to own for 2025, primarily, as we can see here, from their revenue, but also in their earnings, but also dealing with artificial intelligence. Now, next on the list, we have Google. As you can see here, Google's rated as a buy, not a strong buy, and it's currently at $189.30. It's down roughly 1% on the day, equivalent to $1.94. Now, their PE ratio is pretty good. If you ask me, 25.4 for their PE ratio, and that's their price to earnings, which a lot of you should know. The lower the PE ratio, the more value you have, even though this is a growth stock. And if you ask me, they would have been over 200 by now. With the pullback today in the overall market, with profit taking, tax loss harvesting, things of that nature, if Department of Justice wasn't coming down on Alphabet or Google, saying that they're a monopoly company because they control the search engine. Granted, as you see, I'm on Microsoft Bing, but that's just default because of my laptop. I could go to Google. But this aspect right here, this whole aspect right here that you see on the screen of Microsoft Bing, I like. So keep that in mind. But anywho, Department of Justice was cracking down. They were trying to have Google break up or break down into different entities instead of being one big entity calling the monopoly company, which I don't see happening. So therefore, they're eventually going to break over $200. But right now, with tax loss harvesting, people taking profit, the market pulling back, uncertainty. We got a new president coming in. Inauguration on January 20th. I believe that's the date. So, people in the market, investors, traders, don't like uncertainty. But the reason why they are on my list out of the three, because don't get me wrong, I like Amazon, I like Apple, I like Netflix, I definitely like TSM. I don't know why I was about to say TMZ, but I don't know what the hell. Don't mind me. It is currently 3 o'clock in the morning, January 1st, and here I am making a video to start the year off. But back to this, the reason why I'm liking these stocks here is because they're cash cows, like I mentioned, dealing with Google, and they actually had some news not too long ago where they are working on their own chip. I believe it's called Willow or something like that, but they're looking to get into the quantum computing space. And if we are in the market, we know that quantum computing is going to be big in 2025, possibly bigger than artificial intelligence. I mean, due to artificial intelligence having its run, due to certain moves being expected, due to certain stocks, companies, AI being priced in, but quantum computing being that next new thing that's kind of right behind artificial intelligence, which still would need chips from NVDA, possibly. So that's where they come into play. But Google working on their own chip and getting a head start on the quantum computing space, they may dominate compared to some of these other stocks that we know about, which I'll make videos on later, like QUBT, QSI, Rigetti, IONQ, I believe is another one. D-Wave. There's a few of them. There's a few. But yeah. So that's why I'm liking Google. And don't mind me with the sniffles again. I'm in Connecticut here. Pretty chilly outside, for New Year. But hey, it is what it is. So now if we go look at the chart actually, real quick on Google. All right. So as we can see here, Google. Oh, I still got this arrow here from when I did the Zoom with somebody the other day. Speaking of that, I will have a link below for the Patreon, which is $5 a month, and I will have a link for the Facebook group, which is free, where I call out a lot of these plays. I do one-on-ones with the Patreon. That's actually $10 a month, etc. But anywho, I'm not gonna worry about that. So Google, I told the Facebook group the other day, I want to say maybe 2 days ago, anything under 190 is a buy on Google. Preferably 165 to 180 is where I would want to get in at. And as you can see here, where I already drew it up a couple days ago, the arrow here, which is where 164 was a resistance. Excuse me. 164 was a resistance, which, Siri, I'm not talking to you. Resistance.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
No, be quiet.
Okay.
Yeah, was a resistance that became support. So 165 to 180 to me is a steal. I know that's a very big range, but if you could wait for definitely, let's just say 175, you could possibly get there. However, you see the 50-day moving average is still pointing upwards, and this could be coming down to that, which is at 183, which is also this wick high right here. Back on, let me get rid of this. I'm just moving around this, but no. Oh, sorry, y'all, for yelling. All right, Google. This was on November 12th, where that was a high at 183. So it could come back to retest at 183. It did gap up crazy. That's after the Department of Justice was attacking them. And that gap fill is at 176. So yeah, I may move this 174, 75. Oh no, I don't need to move that. Actually, you know what? Let's just delete that, to be honest. And see if we get back to this gap fill right here. I may delete this one as well, 178. Nah, you know what? I'm going to keep that because I remember that those were key levels. Overall, that's my idea with Google. Now, one thing I don't like with Google, which I seen this when I was doing, again, the one-on-one last week. They're looking to be pretty, stagnant or stable over the next couple quarters. I mean, at least a Q3 of 2025. But like $2.12, 204, it's actually going to go down some, 219, and then 227. So they could be anticipating a little bit of slower growth. And I wasn't really feeling that too much. However, they still own YouTube. You know, they still make a lot of money from their cloud. They still make a lot of from ad revenue. You know, so let's just see how it plays out. But Google is another one. Next stock on my list is Meta, which is $585.51. It's down 0.97 on the day, which is $5.73. And again, that was for December 31st, 2024. Once again, Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed your New Year. It is now 2:47 on the East Coast, so it's like 1:47 Central Time. And that gives us what? 11:47 in Cali. So y'all don't even have New Year yet. So it's coming up for you guys in roughly, 12, 13 minutes. But other than that, everyone else, Happy New Year in the other language. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, Meta. Now, Meta, however, unlike NVDA and Google that has kind of been stagnant, Meta has not. Well, NVIDIA we know hasn't been stagnant. It's just that it ran up from $125 to roughly $1,400, pulled back to about $1,200, did a 10-for-1 split, and it's still around, $1,300, $1,200. So they ran up pretty good. Let's just say from $12 to $135 is pretty good. Same thing with Meta. Meta roughly was like $85 at the beginning of 2022, and they went as high as I think $650, maybe $640. Their high was December 11th, which was $638.42. So they went from $85, $90 in 2022 to 2025, basically, if we're going to count today. No, we can't do that, but still, from $85, $90 to $642, now they're still at $585, so they're still up $500 per share, which is like 5x or whatever the case may be on the numbers. So me personally, if we could get a pullback on Meta to that 550 range, which was just there before this breakout, because everybody, we were waiting. We were waiting for this break right here. Now, let me try to get familiar with my tools on TradingView because I typically use Webull. I don't know if I go this way. Oh, yeah, I go this way. Look at that. So, yeah, right there, which was, a couple of days. This is the 4-hour chart, but like from Thursday, let's just go Friday, November 15th, up until, this is the last day that it wicked down there, Thursday, it's almost for a week. We were all waiting for it to break below 550 and come down. So if Meta could come down to 550 again, first off, it has to stay below 586. If it gets below this 585, it's definitely coming down. Maybe to my level of 577, and I would say 565. I don't really want to even do 570. I may get rid of that level, to be honest, because I remember 565 was a key level. But me personally, if Meta could pull back to about 540, that'll be my entry for a run back up to the upside of what that was, 640, 638.42. Now, Meta, why are they on my radar? Not because of this, with them being a strong buy. They're on my radar, and not because their PE ratio is 27.3. But Meta's on my radar because they generate, they make so much money. Meta owns, obviously, Facebook. They own Instagram, WhatsApp, I'm thinking like one other. I can't remember. It does, but they got Facebook Marketplace generating a ton of money. Their ads and ad revenue and whatnot from companies promoting on their platform and paying for ads to promote their things, and from content creators promoting on there to you name it, they generating a ton of money, um, and things of that nature. And then I mean, granted, what was that? Maybe 2 years ago with the metaverse and NFTs and all that was a thing. Meta at the time was still Facebook, but they changed their name to Meta Platforms. They dumped like $50 billion into the metaverse. Haven't heard much about it since then, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure they still may roll it back out. It's dealing with artificial intelligence. Why not, right? But who knows? Maybe they just wrote it off as a loss, and metaverses came and went, and now it's AI. Either way, man, they are crushing it. I'm pretty sure if you use Facebook, you see all the artificial intelligence they got going on now. You don't got to read comments. You get to see what most of the comments say, basically by reading the little summary or synopsis at the beginning of the comment thread. The search bar, you get to ask Meta AI, from the LLM model that they have. I mean, the list goes on, man. But this company here, man, generates so much revenue, man. I gave you guys the levels on Meta. If I could get in on Meta, it would be 540. But if I have to raise my price up, meaning if it doesn't go that low, let's just say 560, 565 will be an entry for me on Meta. And then again, Google, an entry for me preferably will be that 165. I mean, I could get a little greedy and say 162. I would do 158, but that's too greedy. So we could just say 162 maybe. But definitely, if I could catch Google at 178, so about $10 away from here, that may be my first entry on Google. And then NVDA, I want anywhere between 120 and 127. Maybe 123 to 127 because we may not fall below 123. But all of this is dignity. I can't even speak. Again, it's late. All of this is basically based off of what the market gives us, though. So you can't predict. You got to react. You're not a genie. You may think that, NVIDIA is the best company in the world, so I'm going to buy it right now and just hold it for 10 years. No, man, you want to get in at a good price, man, on any stock, on any asset, anything like that, man. You want to get in at a good price, man. So let's get down to what a lot of you probably were waiting for, the penny stock that's on watch, and that's KOPN Corporation, KOPN. Now, the next earnings 76 days, that's cool. Okay, cool. What they do, first off, before I go to anything else or get into anything else, they are in the semiconductor space, I believe, basically, but they deal with micro displays. So you know how NVIDIA is in the semiconductor space, but they at one point dealt with only like gaming. Well, primarily gaming. AMD semiconductor, primarily computers, data centers, things of that nature. Qualcomm semiconductor, but primarily I believe they were like phones, stuff like that. So KOPN, which is very small company, they deal with semiconductors, but it's on like micro displays, like Apple Watches, no affiliations or ties, like virtual reality, no Oculus or no Meta headsets, none of that, but just saying micro displays. What else? Smart glasses, things of that nature, goggles, stuff or whatnot. But ultimately, they deal with, I don't know why my screen just did that, but ultimately, they deal with self-defense. So like tactical gear, the sights on guns, the sighting on weaponry. Let me use that word. I don't know about monetization stuff. I'm getting there. I'm learning. The displays like for military, like headsets and whatever the case may be. But basically, that's what they deal with. Probably other things as well. But I do know that they get a lot of backing and funding from the government. Not to confuse them with Palantir, not to compare them to Palantir. So I'm not saying that they're government funding is going to have them be like a Palantir or so. However, I've been watching this stock for about 4 years, 3 years, 4 years. And the government has been giving them, funding them, or providing grants and purchase orders the whole time. They haven't stopped. They haven't let up any at all. I just announced this stock to my Facebook group, I believe the beginning of this month, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it was last month, around like 94 cents, 96 cents. And I apologize to them because I've been watching it since 70, 80 cents, and I don't know why I didn't announce it then. However, I am glad that a lot of the folks got in under the dollar. So now they're up, let's just say if they got in under the dollar, they're up 36%. Easy math. But my entry, if I could get it, would be $1.10. Honestly, preferably, I'm going to look at the chart. Maybe that 94 that I announced, alerted to the group, which is, I don't even know where that's at. About right here. So, matter of fact, let's go to this double bottom. Yeah, we can just keep it at 96. 96. Now, that may not happen. So if that doesn't happen, my ultimate entry is 110. But I would grab a few shares, since like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I plan on accumulating this throughout the year. So long as it stays over $1, I'm fine with it. I may grab some shares at that 123, which is right above or on that 50-day moving average of 122 or $1.22. But if I get to $1.23, that may be my first entry, and then I won't DCA or nothing until it hits $1.10. If it does, it could go from $1.23 to $1.15 and stay there for months. I'm still not buying anymore unless it goes to $1.10. Now, if I do come up across a decent amount of profits or something like that, and I want to park some money over there at $1.15, I may, but I would rather wait for $1.10 before I really DCA in and grab more shares, to be honest. Now, as far as analyst goes, I didn't know anything. Nope, let's go back to it because I forgot about this part right here. There is resistance at $1.53. I mean higher than that, but we're going to go with $1.53. There's resistance, so keep that in mind on KOPN. Now, as you see here, it's a strong buy, but that's only on from 4 analysts. And there's no PE ratio because I don't believe they're profitable yet, even though they're getting all this funding from the government. Market cap is $215, so it's still pretty small, and whatnot. But this stock here, I don't know. I don't really have a price target. I guess you could say my first price target would be, I want to say 233, if I recall from 2023 when I was trading this stock. It could be 233. Is my first target, to be honest. And then after that, I don't really know. Let's go look at the chart, because I know this stock here, at once upon a time when I first found out about it in 2021, it was about $4 or $5 when I found out. I wrote it up till about $11. And I think it went higher than that, because I was kind of mad that I sold it at 11. Okay, you know what? Let's just do 5 years, because I ain't got time for all of that. Yeah, okay, boom. Yeah, see, this is around where I sold at around 11 bucks. I didn't know it went as high as $14, man, $13.60. Yeah, $13.75. I didn't know it went that high, but either way, I've been new about this stock, like I mentioned. So keep it on your list, keep it on your watch list, on your radar. But the 3 mega cap tech stocks that I mentioned, NVDA, Google, and Meta, It's ones I definitely want to have on watch, definitely want to own, because once it gets to 2030, who knows where NVIDIA is going to be? Who knows what Meta's heading to $1,000. I know that for a fact. I'm not saying this year in 2025, but it's definitely heading to $1,000. I mean, if we get another bullish market, or if the bull run continues, especially in 2025, then yes, Meta's going to $1,000 before they do a stock split. They haven't done any stock splits yet. Google, I don't really have 2025 target for it, to be honest, dealing with all the heat they get from DOJ, but I still could see this being, if quantum computing is the thing for this year, I can see them, but their earnings trajectory that they plan on doing, that's the only thing that's really holding me back from really thinking something about them. But in NVIDIA, we know that's going to 200, especially if we get going again in 2025. So if you like this content that I gave you guys, getting familiar with TradingView and all the tools, because I typically only trade on Webull. Webull, Tasty Trade is where I trade at, but I do all my charting kind of on Webull. And I may come here every now and then, like while I'm in my plays, to see what the SPY or QQQ or anything like that is doing. I didn't realize, okay, yeah, Bitcoin's down, Litecoin's down, AVAX, Solana. That moving average is starting to curl back up on Solana, and that was a nice bounce off of 177. I don't really do crypto, but in the Facebook group, I still like to stay in tune for the people. But yeah, so once again, I want to wish you guys a happy new year. I want to wish you guys a very successful 2025. And we going to crush it around these parts, man. Everybody eats, no matter their gender, race, sexuality, educational background, nothing. We get it out the mud in this market, you heard? Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and don't forget to check out the Patreon and the Facebook group in the links below. Thank you. Take care.